I've done a lot of videos over time discussing podcasts, different types of podcasting equipment, podcasting mic techniques, podcasting recording software, and things of that nature. But never have I gone over in detail some of the equipment that I use. So today I'm going to go over some of the equipment I use to do my YouTube videos as well as record my podcast. So stay tuned.
You're watching a Start to Finish Podcasting Quick Tip, brought to you by the Start to Finish Podcasting TV Network with Andre Lewis.
So welcome to the Start to Finish Podcasting Podcast TV Network with Andre Lewis. Today I'm going to go over some of the equipment that I use when I'm doing my podcast recordings and when I am doing video. Now, I don't do video much. Once in a while, I'll throw up a video. I'm starting to actually do a little bit more videos, so I'm going to try to get to you guys weekly. I'm going to try to start pumping out videos weekly to give you a little bit more content. So I've been discussing so many things about podcasting. Some of the videos, I discussed the Zoom H6. I discussed the different microphones such as the ATR 2100, the ATR 2020, and Shure SM7B, different microphones I've gone over and discussed and reviewed, but never have I really got into some of the equipment that I use for my podcast. I've discussed some of it, but not just a video explaining to you this is what I use. So I wanted to do that today, and today is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go over it today. So I want to start first with this. You don't have to use expensive equipment to get good sound. The stuff that I introduced to you today may be a little bit expensive, but you don't have to use this type of equipment to get good sound and good audio. There's different ways to do that. I have some videos on that, so that may help you get better audio. So I just wanted to let you know that you don't have to go buying the fancy mics and you don't have to go buying the fancy equipment just to get good audio. So let's start with the microphone. I use two microphones. I use the Shure SM7B and I also use the ATR 2100. Now, both of them are not condenser microphones, dynamic microphones. They're both dynamic microphones, and I like the dynamic microphones because it eliminates a little bit more of the background noise as opposed to a condenser microphone, which records everything. And I mean everything from stuff outside, the children screaming and yelling. It just picks up everything. My daughter upstairs, she can start making noise, and the condenser microphone will probably pick that up. Excuse me. So I use the Shure SM7B and I use the ATR 2100. The ATR 2100 I have here. Well, actually, I don't have it with me. I actually lent that out. But I did do a review on the ATR 2100. So you might want to go ahead and check out that video after you view this one. The Shure SM7B is what I'm using right now. And if you could see, I don't know if the frame has it, but there is a another Shure SM7B that I just purchased because I needed two. My wife and I have a podcast, and I just thought she would be able to use the Shure SM7B as opposed to I had an RE320, and it was kind of, it was a pretty good mic because I like that RE320, but she sounded better on the Shure SM7B, so I went and bought another one. And I actually sold the RE320. So we have the Shure SM7B. I use that. That's my go-to mic. Not the RE320. The ATR 2100 is what I use when I'm doing mobile podcasts. Like if I have to do a podcast on the go somewhere else at another location, and I'll tell you what I use for that too, besides the ATR 2100. So this is what I use for my podcast, and this is also what I use for video. And I try to get this out the frame, but it just doesn't sound as good with it out the frame. So I don't mind having this microphone in the frame. Some people who do videos, they don't like the microphone in the frame. I don't mind. I think it's better because if I push this microphone back and get it out of the frame and then I start talking, it's not going to sound as warm, and it's not going to sound as you're not going to get those lows. You're going to get it's kind of like you'll hear okay sound, but you'll hear some reverb in it, like the echo in the room, and you can hear the sound bouncing off the wall. So I don't particularly care to put my microphone back out the frame. I like to be up on it. The Shure SM7B is good for that. So I keep my microphone in the frame, but it's a good microphone. It works well. So if you're in the market for a microphone and you have a budget for this microphone, then I encourage you to go ahead and get it. I think this microphone I believe it's $399. I'm not sure. I think it is. I think it's $399. So that's what I use, the Shure SM7B. Now with this Shure SM7B, it goes into when I talk into this Shure SM7B, the audio signal goes into the microphone and then it shoots out into a Cloudlifter. Now that's another thing that I use. I use a Cloudlifter, which is already connected, so I can't show you that, and I apologize. Actually, maybe I will put the Cloudlifter up on the screen once I edit the video and stuff like that. So I use a Cloudlifter. Here is the Cloudlifter. Okay, not a big piece. It's very small, not small, but it fits in your hand. It's not that big. It's easy to carry. It's very portable. So this Cloudlifter goes into. Well, let me back up. The signal goes into the microphone. That signal gets carried out from the microphone into the Cloudlifter, and then the Cloudlifter sends it back out. The Cloudlifter, and I'll tell you where it goes with that. The Cloudlifter, that runs about $149, and I like that because it gives you an extra, I think it's 20 decibels of gain. So with the Cloudlifter, you don't have to turn your preamp volume up, which means you won't hear as much background noise as you would if you didn't have the Cloudlifter. So if you have the Cloudlifter, you'll get 20 decibels of gain. You can boost that. It'll boost it 20 decibels of gain, and you don't have to turn your volume up. It's just a little bit better. You know, you don't get that. You kind of reduce the chances of getting that background noise. So that's why I use the Cloudlifter. Like I said, it runs about $149. Once that signal comes out the Cloudlifter, it goes into my baby right here. Now this is the DBX 286S. This is the DBX 286S, and I love this thing. This thing does everything I needed to do. If you get one of these, you're pretty much set. It does a great job. Here you have your input gain. I set that at about 30 decibels. Your input gain just controls the amount of gain that you speak into the microphone. Then it goes into a compressor. You don't have to put it into a compressor. Excuse me, you don't have to. If you want to bypass all of this here, you can hit this bypass button, and it will go straight from here to your output gain. But if you want to do that, then you don't need a DBX 286. This DBX 286 does wonders. So audio, control the gain here. It has an 80 roll off, so you can roll off some of the low, which I don't do that. I like the low end. You don't really hear it anyway, but I still like to have it. Then it goes into, like I said, you can bypass this here. And because I'm using a because I'm using a Cloudlifter, this phantom power has to stay on. The Cloudlifter needs phantom power to work properly. So then it goes into your compressor. Once it goes through the compressor, we have a de-esser, which I don't use. If you know someone with high frequencies in their S's, and it really gets on your nerves, or if you have them, you can use this de-esser to take out those, lower those S's, like, so it'll reduce the sound in your recording. Then it goes into an enhancer, which I really love this. This enhancer boosts your highs and boosts your lows, and it doesn't distort the audio. So this is what I really like this thing. So, and I'll give you a quick example. Right now I have it set where it's supposed to be. But if I turn, you have a high frequency and you have a low frequency. Okay. So if I turn this high frequency all the way up, my voice is going to get real clear. I don't know if you can hear it right now, but you should be able to hear it. My voice goes real high and the clarity is real high. Sometimes it may be a little bit too much. So let me turn this down. Now, if I go with the the low frequency and turn that up, then my voice starts getting very bassy and it doesn't sound good. As you can hear right now, it probably doesn't sound very good. So let me turn that back down. But this is what it does. It boosts the high frequencies and the low frequencies. All right. So I think that's pretty much where I had them at before. Let me just make sure. Yeah, I think we're good to go. So the next thing is the expander, which I love this thing. This thing here, the expander, it kind of works as a compressor for the background noise. So it will take that background noise and compress it and then lower it. Okay. So we'll take it, lower it, and you won't hear so much of the background noise. I love this thing. It works well. You have the ratio set at 2-to-1. So it works just like a compressor, but it works with the low end instead of the high end. Not the low end, I'm sorry. It works with the lower volume. I guess that's a good way to put it. It works on the lower volume as opposed to the higher volume with a compressor. With a compressor, it takes the high volume in the lowest part of the signal and compresses it and then raises it up. This here does just the opposite. An expander does just the opposite. It takes the highest part of the low of the background noise. I guess I'm explaining this right. And then it compresses it and lowers it. So it works good. When I have this on and when I'm using this, there's no background noise whatsoever. And I had a plane fly over, it was actually a jet, so it was very loud. And I had a jet fly over the house while I was recording a podcast. And because I had this working pretty good and the settings were great, didn't even hear that jet. As opposed to if I didn't have this, you would have heard it. It's very loud. They're jets and they don't fly too high. So this works well. So this is my DBX 286. Okay. Now so far we have the Shure SM7B audio goes in straight into the Cloudlifter. Cloudlifter goes into the DBX 286. Once it comes out of the output of the DBX 286, it goes into and I'll put this on the screen. It goes into my Focusrite 18i8. Okay. So here's my Focusrite 18i8. And as you can see, you have 4 XLR inputs, and which means you can connect 4 microphones. So this thing works good. I mean, more than good. I'm just being modest here. This thing works great. So I have my audio coming from the DBX 286 going in to the Focusrite 18i8. And I have that volume turned all the way down on the Focusrite because I don't need that extra volume because this DBX does a great job. So the volume is turned all the way, the gain is turned all the way down on the Focusrite 18i8 because I don't need it. It sounds great without me turning up the gain. I could put a little bit of gain on it if I wanted to, but there's no need to. The gain is perfect. Doesn't need to be raised or anything like that. This DBX does it perfectly. So with the 18i8, once that signal goes into the 18i8, the Focusrite 18i8, it goes into a Logic Pro. So Logic Pro 10, which is the software that I use for my recordings, it works great. That runs about $299. I got a special with that. So I paid $299, but I got some other stuff with it. So it goes right into Logic Pro 10, and that's how I get my recording. Now, the Focusrite 18i8, I believe that was $3. Whoa, not $3. I believe the Focusrite 18i8 was $345. I paid $345. And the DBX, I failed to give you the price for that. I believe I paid at the time, I believe it was $249. Actually, it was $200. I paid $200. So that was a steal. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. It was a steal to get this for $299. It works great. Have no issues with it. It just does the job of a lot of different things. So there's one thing I didn't go over, and that's my MDX 4600, I believe. This works just as it does kind of the same thing, but I think this one has this DBX definitely goes a little bit further with how it works. I mean, the quality of this, it works very good. This works pretty good too. This is brand new, and I haven't even used it twice. I think I might have used it once, and then I tested it once. So I did use it twice. This works okay. I like it, but this is the king of all compressor limited gates and all that other stuff. This does it all. So I have two of these. One of them was given to me, so I decided to get another one because I was using this one at the time. I decided to get another one. I got another one. It worked fine. I used it for a while, and then I wound up getting this. So if anyone, you're looking to buy a DBX, or not a DBX, if you're looking to buy an MDX 4600, this is by Behringer, a compressor limiter gate. I have one for you. It's practically new. It still has a warranty on it. So if you're interested, let me know. This here is my power, I would say a power strip. And I like this because the DBX 286 and the, I'm not sure if the Focusrite, I think, the Focusrite does have an on-off switch, I believe. But the DBX doesn't. So I have these hooked up into these power strips so I can just turn them on and off. No need to plug them in, because if I didn't have the power strip here, in order to get the DBX on, I would have to plug it in and unplug it. So I don't really like that. And I could have sworn the Focusrite 18i8 was like that too. So this is also connected in here. So it just gives me good access, easy access to turn my equipment on and off. So whenever I need it, I can just click it on and I can go. Easy as that. I also use these headphones. Really shouldn't, because it has a lot of bass in them, but I use them. I use these headphones to listen to my audio when I'm recording. Most of the time I don't use headphones when I'm recording. I just set it up right and, and I'll listen back later. But a lot of people use headphones when they're doing their podcast and recording. I don't particularly like listening to myself. So I feel like I went deaf and I can barely hear. So I don't use this. But I do use it for editing purposes. So we've gone over everything that I've used. I also use a Mac. I have the 21-inch Mac desktop. It's over here. You can probably see it. But I do use the Mac. It's the 21-inch desktop. That works pretty good for me. And I believe that's it. I use one more thing. Before I mentioned that I use the ATR 2100. Now I use that for my mobile podcasting. So if I have to do a podcast somewhere else, I just bring the ATR 2100. And then I mentioned that I use that with something else. That something else is the Zoom H6. So right here, I use this Zoom H6 for mobile podcasting. So if I want to go record something in a car, if I want to go to someone's office and record a podcast, or I want to go to the library and not rent out a room, but use a room to record my podcast, I can do that with this. This thing, you probably know about this. I have a video explaining what this is, so you can go to the video and check it out, but I'll be real quick with this. This, it has 4 XLR channels, has 4 XLR channels, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can connect 4 microphones up to this. There is a detachable piece that you can buy to make it 6 XLR microphones. So it looks just like this, but it has the XLR microphones here on the side, and you just connect it, and then you'll have 6 XLR microphone connection inputs. This is an input you can record with this. This is the XY microphone here. And you would use this. It has its own individual volume control. So you can adjust it to a 90-degree angle or a 120-degree angle, which will get a little bit more wider with the audio, will catch a little bit more audio. But this is what I use for mobile podcasting. And it works great. I like it. It's nice and heavy and bulky. That's what I like. I like bulky equipment that's heavy. This is great. It's durable. It also comes with a capsule that detaches on, that attaches off. It comes with a capsule. That works pretty good also. I like that. So this is what I use for mobile podcasting. So that's all that I use for my podcast videos and my podcast that's on iTunes and all those other podcatchers and things of that. If you have any questions, you can, shoot me an email at starttofinishpodcasting@gmail.com, or you can visit the website at starttofinishpodcasting@gmail.com. I'm open to questions. If you need anything, you can leave a question in the comments, and I'll try to answer it as best as I can. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm making a lot of videos, and I just want you to be a part of some of the content that I'm giving. So just make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of these videos. If you subscribe, you will get a notification. Yes, you will. You'll get a notification every time I drop a video. Get it? Drop a video. I know that was corny. I'm corny. I really am. I'm real corny. But look, subscribe, learn, and, keep podcasting. If you're interested in starting a podcast and you're not sure if you can do it, you're not sure how to do it, contact me and we can do a consultation. It's absolutely free. You don't have to pay for anything. I'll walk you through the process. If you're sure that you want to do a podcast and you're just looking for someone, some courses, I can do that. Also, I have courses and I walk you through the steps over the phone. You watch the courses. I do weekly coaching calls. And I'll give you 24-hour access of me, which is just about any time. So if you're interested in starting a podcast, contact me. That'll do it for the equipment that I use. I'd like to thank you very much for tuning in and keep podcasting. This is Andre Lewis from Start to Finish Podcasting TV Network saying take care.
Thank you for watching the Start to Finish Podcasting TV Network.